What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you a manga first impressions on a new manga series that just started coming out this week, Fire Punch. Now, this manga has been gaining a lot of buzz. I've been actually seeing a lot more Chibits recommending me to start this series to see how I feel about it, and so I gave the first chapter a read this morning, and instantly, Dark Souls vibes. I finished the chapter. It's a quick read, so you can go, read it, because there's only one chapter out right now, and I got Dark Souls vibes. This entire chapter pretty much reminded me of, like, the situation in Dark Souls, how people yearn for the fire, and it starts off with, like, an awesome quote, "The frozen yearn for the fire," and I'm like, yo, that's just straight up fucking Dark Souls right there. Now, I gotta say, when it comes to this first chapter, it's interesting, but I know that there's a couple things about this first chapter that might turn you off from wanting to continue reading. For one, to address some certain things, there is some incest type themes, sibling romance, for instance. You have it to where a brother and sister, and I'm not going to spoil any details, but it's something that is kind of cliche and something we've kind of seen from other series, but I'm just going to throw it out there. That was something that was kind of just off-putting. It could be off-putting for many if you actually start this series, but for the most part, I don't feel like it's going to stay around for long, because if you read the first chapter, you know what I'm talking about, so there you go. But when it comes to the actual core content of Fire Punch, the first chapter, it's a post-apocalyptic world, which that's kind of a setting we've come to know and get used to in recent anime and manga, but what sets this apart is how it feels so much like Dark Souls in a way, because the entire world has been encased in ice. Pretty much, it's been frozen. It's like a new ice age, and you have it to where people are dying, and they need fire. They're cold, they're dying, they need food, and it's pretty much kind of like similar to how Dark Souls is. The darkness comes in and you have to link the flame to keep the fire going and all that, link the fire ending pretty much, and it reminded me a lot of that. I don't know if the mangaka that was writing this series was actually trying to go for that type of tone, but it definitely does. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because, if you have expectations of Dark Souls, because Dark Souls has a very good story, this might turn you off because it might not live up to that standards, or it could go down a different route. You don't know. It's just right now, the first chapter, that's just the vibes I'm getting. But I will say, though, when it comes to the main character, Augie. Now, this is the interesting part about him, okay? I was wondering why the series was called Fire Punch. I was like, okay, so you pretty much have this frozen wasteland, and everything's frozen, and everybody's seeking warmth. But then, the title of the series is called Fire Punch. I'm like, what the fuck? What? That doesn't make any sense. So I was reading the chapter and all that, and we find out that the main character has a regenerative ability. He can heal. And his healing is pretty much instant. He can heal like that. And that's pretty crazy. So, he can pretty much get a limb chopped off, it grows back almost instantly. And so, he can't really die. So, it wasn't nothing to do with fire. So, I'm like, okay, so the main character's not fire, but his name is Augie. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because, a little known fact, if you're unaware, Augie is a god. If you didn't know that, so yeah. I do play Smite, so that's how I know. But anyways, Augie is the main character, so I'm like, okay, so he's affiliated with fire, but he has a healing factor, so what's going on there? Well, the chapter continues on. We find out that there's cannibalism. I'm not even joking. There's fucking cannibalism in this series. Not just any type of cannibalism, but self-cannibalism. I'm not shitting you right now. The main character and the situation of the village is so bad that they're starving, that the main character, since he can heal so fast, he chops off his own fucking arm. He chops off multiple times just to feed the villagers. I'm not even shitting you right now. That really happens in the chapter. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So, this takes it to an entirely new level of because the character chops off his own limbs to feed everybody, and everybody's acting like it's normal, and that's the creepy part about it. As he's going door to door giving human flesh up, everybody's acting normal. He's like, oh, thank you for this food and all that. I'm gonna cook it and all that. And I'm like, yo, this is just so disgusting and nasty. But then you get back to the main character's house, Augie's house with his sister, and they're cooking his own arm up in a fucking potato stew. And I'm like, yo, chill. Like, seriously, the main character was eating his own arm. What? So, I noticed how the dialogue was done, like the translation. I don't know if this was from the translator doing it or not, or if this was actually the proper translation. Could be a mistranslation, but there was an actual dialogue line in that part when the brother, you know, saw his own fucking arm in the potato stew. His sister walks in, it's like, "Oh, brother stew," or "brother soup," or whatever. I don't remember the exact quote, but like, "Oh, it's delicious, the cartilage is good," and I'm like, so yeah, it's definitely something that might turn some away, especially when it comes to those type of themes. And oddly enough, this is a shonen, apparently. So, yeah, a shonen. This is a shonen. This is not a seinen. So, I don't know how long this series is going to last. It might be canceled. Who the hell knows? But the first chapter, though, when it comes towards the ending, I don't really want to spoil it because, you know, I want you to see if you like it yourself. But the ending overall, my thoughts on it, the main character, he's pretty much a man of vengeance, the flame of vengeance and all that. He's pretty badass, I will say right now. I like the design of the main character towards the end of the chapter, and, I mean, I like how it counterbalances the Witch of Ice. I really like that, because the world's covered in, you know, ice, and now he's fire. I wonder if he's going to, like, link the flame, pretty much, and turn the entire world, instead of ice, into fire. Burn the fucking world. So, that'd be pretty cool. And since this is having a little bit of a Dark Souls theme, I could see something like that. Because you know how the dark ending of Dark Souls is, and then the fire ending of Dark Souls is, you know how it changes. That'd be pretty cool, because ice and fire. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this first chapter? I gotta say right now, I don't know if I will review each individual chapter. It depends on the translation times, obviously. If it's a weekly series or whatever, and it comes out, it has a really good translation time, I'm most likely to review it. But if it has, you know, these translation times that are kind of scattered out, which is not, you know, the translator's fault, because it's a lot of work to translate, it would interrupt the schedule, different things I have to do. So, it really depends on the translation times, what times it comes out, but I am interested in this series, so I'm definitely going to bookmark it, and I'm going to continue reading it to see where it goes, and see if it becomes something good or not. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.